If we're honest with ourselves, we know that being a mom is one big job, but it also doesn't have just one definition.
It sounds a little deep, but as Mother's Day is approaching, Bree Schmidt from the Thinking Branch and Muffy Mendoza of Brown Mamas, they're here to talk about how motherhood is not a monolith. And this really is very deep to talk about, but I'm glad that we're having this conversation because as Bree, you mentioned, we're seeing all these ads for Mother's Day coming our way. So let's talk about this. It's not a monolith.
Yeah, you know, motherhood isn't one thing, right? We now know that motherhood can come in all forms. And I think as we go into Mother's Day, it's just about recognizing that we can celebrate all different kinds of mothers, right? Whether you are a mom who has multiple children, if you are a new mom, if you're a single mom, if you're a bonus mom. I can also say that my kids have bonus moms in our neighborhood that care for them as a village the way that I do as well. And I think it's just important to recognize that motherhood doesn't look one way and that we can celebrate all forms of mothering.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think this is really a conversation about women supporting women. So this is really a conversation about recognizing that motherhood looks different for different people depending on your socioeconomic background, depending on your race and your gender. It just looks different. And really having conversations that allow us to really explore the breadth of motherhood. Black Maternal Health Week just ended yesterday. And so we all know that we were talking about issues that Black mothers are facing and really normalizing that these are the issues and let's have a broader conversation about it.
Absolutely. And I think it's easy to celebrate the mother in our life with a big bouquet of flowers and breakfast in bed. And I don't want to tell you not to do that because that would be silly. We definitely should still.
Absolutely.
But I also think that it is important for everyone to really remember that motherhood is an all-day, everyday, dirty job. We are micro in the trenches every single day. And I think that we also need to recognize what we're doing more than just one day a year.
Right.
Because I think it's so important, but I think that the mental health of mothers would be better if we all stopped every once in a while and said,
yeah,
wow, this is hard. We're doing it.
Yeah, there are sometimes on Mother's Day where I'm like, you know, why are we just doing this once? And I actually have a quote that I share after every Mother's Day. And it's essentially, all that love that you dished out to your moms and all the words that you wrote, do that often.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank them often. Show them that you see them often, and not just in your families, but I think as Muffy and I talk a lot about community of mothers, reach out to your friends and say, you know what, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
You're doing such a good job. I see you going through all these things, and I want to make sure that you know you're seen all year long.
I hope I'm not taking this conversation in a different direction, but I'm glad that you brought up bonus moms because we were just talking about my mom was a single mom and I don't know how she did it. And then I realized when Frankie, my husband, is gone for extended times because he's at the firehouse, being a single parent is impossible. And we say that it's possible and we give props to the parents who are doing it and the moms who are doing it. We say, oh my gosh, look at you, you're a superhero, you're a super mom. But at the end of the day, you need those bonus moms. You need the extra, like you need the support. You need that community around you.
And I think community is like really, it's the lifeblood of parenting. When you are able to tap into a group of women, a group of men, a group of people that really just understand what it takes to be a parent and lean on that community consistently, that is really what can make the mothering journey so much easier. And it really gives us an opportunity to see women supporting women in action.
Absolutely. And I will say, you don't know friendship until you have a friend that is a mom and you have gone to them and said, he won't sleep. He's not eating anymore. She's going to become a chicken nugget if she eats one more chicken nugget. I don't know what to do. And I think that there's a level of, I don't know if it's femininity or just humanity, but I think that there's a certain level that you hit there that you're like, yes, I am not alone here. And I think that motherhood can be such a lonely journey if you don't have community.
And we have to respect that there are nuances to motherhood depending on who and where and why and all of those things. And I think it becomes really hard to do that in American culture because we oftentimes present this one single image of what it looks like to be a mother. And depending upon what's around you, what your environment looks like, motherhood can be a daunting task, a beautiful task, but it's just a very complex task. And I think what we have to begin to do is really allow different kinds of moms to take up space in different spaces so that we can really begin to see that. And like you said, when mom comes and we are acknowledging that the task is daunting, but also recognizing that she may be dealing with some issues that you may not even understand.
Right. Well, and even I know we talk about this from time to time, but there are moms who aren't yet physical mothers yet who just have the desire to be a mom.
Right.
And it's not that one thing. There are so many people who are struggling to have a baby and going through that, and Mother's Day comes and goes, and it's hard for them because in their body they feel like a mother. They want to be a mother.
And I think that's what we're talking about today is being aware, you know, that there's more than just what you experience. And I think it's about taking the time to look around you and see how different people are handling Mother's Day, whether they want to be a mother or maybe they have a strained relationship with their mother or didn't have a good experience or lost a mother. I think what we want to do is just make sure that we're all looking out for each other and recognizing that there are things that we all deal with and then things that you don't see that they're dealing with. And so let's use Mother's Day as a reason to remember that, but not forget to do it year round too.
Year round, that's right.
I love it. Don't go anywhere because Muffy and Bree are sticking around to tackle some of your parenting questions. That's right after the break.